want to go back to that funky situation.
You know that it is there. And I don't think that is aura for aura. I think that's my own version of it.
No, that's
no. Okay.
You have given me by writing something.
Exactly. So
don't come near me. I'm going to give it to you.
If she were to give it to her, it would be bigger than that.
Really?
I do not think that's aura for aura. That's her protecting her space. No.
It's the big, big conversation.
Welcome back to the big conversation. For some people, aura for aura is about fairness. They believe, I won't start it, but I will finish it. You treat me well, I treat you well. You don't, I respond accordingly. And for others, it's a dangerous mindset because it keeps you reacting instead of choosing how you want to show up. And then there's another perspective entirely, the idea of taking the high road, letting things go, walking away, even waiting for God or life to handle justice. But that raises questions too. Does taking the high road make you wise or weak? How do we protect ourselves without losing ourselves? Let's have this big and very important conversation. First, I want to ask both of you, are you the aura for aura? Are you the, you know what, I let things slide kind of person? I
don't like wahala. But if you bring wahala, no wahala.
I give you, oh, no wahala, I give you.
I'm there for it.
All right. Pastor Chuju looks like the cool person, but people like this, hey.
I'm not cool.
I feel exactly.
I was somewhere recent. Someone was saying, you are so calm. I say, okay, growing up, maybe sometimes parents should be careful what they instill in their children. Maybe by way of saying, you said something is when you want the younger one to stand up.
Defend, yes.
My mom, when you go out and you're playing, then there's a fight. You now come back to say, Alero beats me up, or Ejiro beats
exactly.
you. You go back and fight that fight. You don't come back here and be crying, you know, that kind of thing. So it's like stand up for yourself. I am this kind of, even though I have to dual personality, I can be very calm and I can be very hot. And I used to feel that I can't take, when truth is not being said, I will just like give it out there, brutal truth. Let me just speak my honesty, you know. But I've come to learn that sometimes, I talked about safe honesty. There's a way we can go about it. Because if you want to say, I'm brutal, I'll say it as it is. Sometimes it will not lead to something else. You will not destroy relationships, bridges will be burnt, like that. So, let me say with small
your
age,
mix, yes.
Toning down aura for aura.
Well, I think for me, it's, I kind of like sort of look at people and then determine how we're going to deal with this. Right. So it depends on what they bring to me, you know, then I incubate it and I give it back. So I mean, not because I saw this quote that said, you know, instead of giving somebody negative energy back, just be yourself. You don't have to give back what you get, because then it's changing who you are. Because then I'm now becoming like you, because I want to give back that bass boost. So I'm going to always respond in my own authentic, true self. I don't know. Do you agree with that?
I do agree. Even though I am definitely pro aura for aura, I don't think it necessarily means you have to be toxic or like you have to be in their face, because then it makes you become exactly what you hate, and then you're reacting, you know, based on your ego, or, you know, if you feel disrespected. I think essentially, I think what I usually do is I just like erase the person. I no longer see the person, not from a place of I'm not even trying to actively hurt you.
Exactly.
I'm just protecting myself. And so you will only get that opportunity to give me that energy that once. I'm just going to put a wall in between us. Some people say, oh, why don't you address it? Why don't you, you know, let them, I think people know what they are doing. Exactly. People know what they are doing. So what I will do is, I mean, I have a responsibility for my happiness. I have a responsibility for my space, right? So like I said, yeah, you only get that chance once. And I'm not necessarily, we can still be saying, hi, hello, oh my goodness, good to see you. That can still happen. Yes. But I think that's just being courteous. I'm just being cordial. But that's boundary. You will know that it is now there.
And it's boundaries. Look at, I mean, we don't want to go back to that funky situation.
Know that it is there. And I don't think that is aura for aura. I think that's my own version of it.
You have given me by writing something.
Exactly.
So don't come near me. I'm going to give it.
If she were to give it to her, It would be bigger than that.
Really?
I do not think that's aura for aura. That's her protecting her space.
No,
She could have said something nasty in that moment. They knew that cameras were on them. All she did was, oh, I don't see you. You know,
that's the aura now.
The message, oh no, it could have been bigger than that.
No, that, you know, it's even bigger now, the way she did it. If she had said
Do
something.
you know why it's
Yes.
bigger?
No.
It's because the offending party, and I hate to use that word because
Yes,
we don't know what
exactly.
happened in
Yes,
the background.
yes.
But at least as far as we know, the offending party then decided, why were you even greeting her if you were going to now go on social media to start writing things? I always say that people know exactly
What
what
they're
they're doing.
doing,
You do
yes.
not pinch me.
Yes.
Come and then I decide to
But on
keep
the
all
surface,
she did
yes.
what
was keep
she
quiet.
wrote was not that bad.
Okay.
It was, she was saying that maybe Afolayan was saying,
No,
you
no, no, no,
cannot
no.
do this.
I'm even talking about post the
Yes.
ignorance.
Okay, yes. No, after that
Why did you
issue,
greet her?
She went back
Why did you
again to
greet
now
her?
say...
Simple. Why did you greet her at that party?
Maybe I don't really know the antecedent, what really happened.
exactly,
But
we
from what
don't.
I'm judging is maybe what she wrote in response to what Afolayan said. Funke Akindele being a kind of person, she's like, you cannot do that to me. Maybe then you come and when we are in public, you think that I'm
Yes,
a friend.
I'm
I'll give it
cool.
to you back.
I don't think that's the
I
general.
mean, that's
yes.
what I'm saying. I don't know the antecedent.
Yes, I think that because I mean, what Barista told you is saying that if she were doing even though you're giving me negatives or saying stuff about me, I can still say, oh, hello, Tony.
Yes.
How are you? And then just keep it moving. That's my idea. But I think that
one
ignoring
way.
her, yes.
that's
I think
one
ignoring
way.
her was more, you give me this, I will give you in my own way.
In
Because
my
I think,
own way.
yes.
Exactly.
It's not your, you see the facial expression.
As in, it was like, you know what? You don't even exist. And I think
You don't
sometimes, yes,
exist.
you don't exist to me. And I think sometimes some people do that to protect your
Simple.
own.
That's what I believe.
Yes, to protect your own boundaries and protect yourself, because I'm also someone I'm very emotional, and so that's why I don't like, maybe that's why I don't have friends, because I don't want to get into something with somebody then they now let me down, and then because for me before I now can, so that's why for me too I'll just compartmentalize people.
Simple.
So instead of when I see them I ignore them or I give them basbos, I'd rather just, but do you feel like, especially because I know a lot of people say, well, leave it for God, leave it to karma. Do you believe in karma? Do you believe that when people do you wrong, that just you leave it, that it will be taken care of? Or do you think that's just you in being in denial? Because a lot of people do horrible things and they get away with it. So if you don't do your boss for their boss, you're just letting that person continue to hurt people the way that they've hurt you.
I think if you want to leave it, just leave it. Leaving it for God, I think, is weird. Just leave it. That way, you don't have your mind there anymore. You're not waiting for something unfortunate or something terrible to happen to them and then say, oh yeah, that's when you do bad. That's what it's not necessary. If you want to do your own, do it by yourself. But if you are one who believes in, you know what, I'm going to take the high road, I'm going to be the bigger person, be the bigger person and remove. I mean, I think it's a skill that maybe people grow over time, because some people find it difficult to leave certain situations. For them, it festers. It makes it look like, oh, this thing is still there. For somebody like me, it's pretty easy. It's almost like, I can just paint white
invisible.
over it, and that
You can't.
that way I move. It doesn't. So when I even see them, it doesn't hurt as much. It doesn't matter what they did. When I see them, it doesn't raise fresh, emotions and all that. And if that helps, you to move on, just leave it and leave it.
Okay, let me put it in context, because I think maybe let's talk about disrespect. Because I think that's where most of the time, people, when it comes to disrespect, maybe someone, maybe younger, maybe a younger colleague or whatever, or maybe someone your peer, but we know disrespect doesn't have to be about age or anything. When someone disrespects you, how do you handle that in a way that, okay, I'm going to revenge, as opposed to, oh, I'm going to leave it, don't worry. Somebody will disrespect you. How our parents say, how do you respond? How would you tell someone to respond in that kind of situation?
That's where I said I'm big on aura for aura. I don't know how to hide my feelings like that. Recently, similar thing happened in a group where we had all left school like 40 years ago, and there's somebody there posting a particular kind of message, and people are complaining. Maybe the religious people were like, okay, guy, tone it down and all of that. Kept quiet a bit, came back again with higher intensity. And we are not like, let's ban this, let's not talk about it. I said, no, we are political animals. We cannot at this age. We are getting closer to our graves. You are telling us there are some things we will not say. Religion and politics is part of human existence, So it's looking like this person has been doing all these things since, and they just want to gloss over it. So at that point, I just, with voice note, I started calling the person out. I went.
You went deep.
So me, and that's me. you can be disrespecting somebody that is even close to me. Like, yeah, I'll just jump into the ring like that. But I'm trying to tone it down. But sometimes old habits.
As a worry girl.
No, that
Disrespect
kind of
worry
thing.
girl.
So,
Yeah.
But if you are doing aura for aura and you have your values, you can use that to. You won't go too much. You can do aura for aura because you are aware of, okay, these are my values. I won't say some things. You see, like, correct the person.
Yes, because I think some people say no response is the best response, but I don't always agree. You know, for me to always give people the long group, and so some even think, even as a boss, people think, people are working all over you, but I give people a long group so that you can hang yourself. You know, so it's not necessarily that, because there are some people who just don't know how to speak up for themselves. Right. So that's why they can't give aura to aura. And I think that after a certain age, you must be able to, not necessarily that you'll be aggressive, you start fighting, but you must be able to speak up for yourself. Yes. But how you do it will now determine, because aura for aura is still, I may not give it to you aggressively. So for me, I give people a long group. You know, so even when disrespect, I want to be sure. Because sometimes when someone sends me an email, for example, sometimes your staff sends me an email, and you know that to your face, they cannot say it this way. So most of the time, I'll call them and say, please, I need you to say what you've just said. I still did it to somebody. I need you to say what you just text to me, to my face. Then you see that obviously they cannot. So I like to give people a long group. I'm not one who allows, disrespect. However, I like to give people the long group and still respond in a way that I'm not out of character. Right. And I think that's what a lot of people do. They now go out of character in trying to do, I don't like to take rubbish. Yes. And they now go out of character. How do we stay in character when you want to respond, especially to disrespect?
I think, with the perspective you just, gave on giving people a long rope, sometimes I think we have a huge number of people who do it intentionally. They intentionally are rude just to see how much you take.
Yes.
But sometimes it's perception. I do agree that if I see something
exactly, was it just me? Sometimes I won't ask my husband, please read this message. So that, because my husband is super calm, and he gives people a longer rope self than I think anybody deserves. So I say, please read this. My staff just sent me this message. That's rude. Thank you very much.
I do agree that for me, because when I see some things, my head will just turn on lights like,
exactly.
What just happened here?
Yes.
Did I just hear one? Like, what happened? So, but because of how much finality I often put on, when things like that happen, it's not necessarily a long group. It's just I second guess it for a moment. Just, maybe that's just my own way of reading it. So maybe you may get a second chance in that regard if it is not as direct as I would have, perceived it. But if I see that, this thing, there is no other interpretation for it. I do not think people should go out of character. What you hate, why do you hate it? If you think somebody is being disrespectful, even if if the power dynamics, if it's a little skewed, if you don't like something, I don't think returning that thing right back is the way to handle things. If somebody is being rude to you, it doesn't even matter if they are younger. I don't think you then, begin to embarrass them and begin to make a scene. There are structures in place for certain things in, for example, an organizational setting. But if it's a social setting, if you disrespect, for example, while I was thinking about this topic, I remember years ago, I was doing a training stuff in somewhere in Lagos, and I was very slim then, very small looking girl. I usually am one of the first people to enter the bus. I'd paid, and I think I gave him 1,000 naira at the time, and I was to get it changed. But I was going to Ladipo, right? So it's quite a distance. I didn't bother him for my change or anything. Yes. We had entered Lagos, and then said, you have not given me change, and then he just changed it. So because he has not asked me for money, me that I have not paid. Wow. Initially, I was quiet. Yes. Because this is a conductor. What if he? I was a little, intimidated. But then, I later discovered, oh no, this guy is trying to play a fast one. Yes. He knows I'd paid. He knows As we got, I made sure that we had gotten close to my bus stop so that at least I will see people that will know me, that will try to recognize me, that will help if there's a problem. And then I just changed.
Incredible Hulk came out.
By the time, he gave me my change, by the time I alighted and, people who saw me while we were doing that drama that day, I didn't know that.
Yeah, wow.
I did not believe it. Oh, that's the first time I would face somebody like that. Yeah. And that was me going completely out of character. That was me being somebody else entirely. I would probably have judged if I saw somebody else in that
yes.
situation. And sometimes that's how people behave. You don't like something, but then you become that thing too. That's a
Yes.
message too.
Yeah.
Which is why, I mean, again, I think my version of that aura for aura is still the best. It's just like,
But sometimes, like the picture you just painted,
Yeah.
if, let's say in a relationship, in marriage, and you've been accumulating it, you know that your spouse is giving you some kind of, one day you might just like give, let me just give aura for aura, and
So
that
that
can
this
lead to
person
like
knows,
silent
yes.
battlefield.
Right.
Most breakup of marriages and relationships starts from, because you are tired, you are fed up. One day you just like erupt, and then the person is not seeing it like as an affront. Like,
Yes. Exactly.
more sorrow and sorrow, you know, that kind of thing. You know,
Talking
that thing is, that thing alone is condescending. Like
Yes.
you are not supposed to speak like that. So I will still go back to like safe honesty, so that we don't, like you said, that is not your nature, but you found yourself in a public place
Yes.
doing that.
Exactly.
Even what I also said about my group, somebody now wrote to me that if your husband has seen you talking like this, me, I just bam.
Wow. Blocks.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Like, you of all people, you should know, you guys were complaining, everybody were grumbling. Nobody's like, this guy is
And then
an
somebody
ogre.
finally
Oh,
decided
you
to
fix
face
up,
you know,
but
that
now,
kind of
yes.
thing.
But there are times when you feel like, because there are some times when I feel like I didn't respond, I didn't give aura for aura, and it's just biting me inside because I feel like if you are permissive when you're allowing people to get away with certain things, and that the owners, because I always feel like I have a responsibility so that you don't do it to somebody else. So sometimes I do go a little out of character just to teach you a lesson that you've been doing this rudeness and people have been letting you go because, you know what, maybe that's how she is, that's how he is. And so my job is to ensure that you know today that you hurt people when you do behave that way. Because sometimes when I don't respond and I let things go, I let things slide, not even necessarily joy, then I'm biting myself that number one, this person is going to go on and do it to somebody else. And number two, I just feel like I should have spoken up. You know, so I don't know if you've ever found yourself in that situation. I find myself in that situation all the time because I like to also let things slide, but then it's always biting me that, no, because this person's going to keep doing this rubbish.
A notch further. Once I'm keeping quiet, I will not delink from you. I don't have that thing to be saying, hello, hi, because I'm feeling like, this guy, you can do it to me now. If you can do this to other people, like, what kind of person are you? Okay, I don't want to fight. I don't want to give aura for aura. Let me just delink from you. But the best thing, Sha, is not aura for aura, because like you said, somebody, maybe you were going for a job interview and
Somebody
I saw you. I understand what you are saying.
No, but that conductor needed.
I do it a lot.
So am I going to leave my money? And the language you understand. Also because you have to sometimes meet people at their level.
Right.
So the language your conductor understands is just, change me.
That's the trick. Meeting people at their level. You don't know the level that person is on.
They are all the way in hell. And some people you need to go in hell with them. Some people you need to go in hell
But then you
with.
become somebody else.
That's
the
tricky
for a few minutes.
You become somebody else entirely.
Yes.
I've been at an organization, and I think I've shared that at this table before, that I've been at an organization where, you know, it was so toxic that I did not used to listen to Barista. Because I want them to hear me playing Barista.
You start saying,
my status, I will post picture. It became
making subliminal messages.
There was a day, I don't know what happened. Something happened, and my initial thought was, Abi is Mr. Kiniko. I'm like, who is this? You
catching
you
subs that are not, then your mind just becomes something else.
You become somebody else entirely. And I don't think that's where anybody wants to be. I know, and because I know that if somebody doesn't catch you, or if you don't catch yourself, you wake up one morning and you become exactly that thing you hate. So rather than go that route.
Because not a peaceful place at all.
Guys,
We're always thinking, she's talking about me. You look at status.
You know.
Is she talking about me? And then you add your own.
You will not
some
block
people,
them.
exactly.
You will
Thank
not
you.
change,
You keep
keep
watching.
them, and your peace is completely disturbed. It makes no sense.
But sometimes it's spontaneous. Like what you said, somebody has said to me, a taxi man or in this Ibadan, instead of you to say, shower, so maybe because I'm alone, I now say, elewon. I didn't know that is a bad, the guy, the way he stopped the car.
Really? After calling you, Ashawo?
Me, I now said elewon.
I love it.
Thank you. Bars for both.
I love it. I didn't know that it would be triggered like
Yes.
that.
Thank
so
you.
I started asking people, he said, elewon a bad thing.
Prisoner. And you called me first.
Oh
so
my
for me, in
God.
certain situations,
Sometimes
yes.
it's spontaneous.
Yes.
But we have to learn how to
Yeah.
like be.
Turn it down.
I agree, but I just believe that sometimes you need to show people that you have a little bit of
have it in
madness,
you.
or else people start to put you in this box that she's always going to take it, she's always going to do that. Even sometimes in marriage, like Bright, I told you mentioned, there are some times when I just
Yeah, that's rough.
No words.
exactly, no words, but hey, hold up, because sometimes I just feel that's us, even us. You know that person who you just feel like they're always going to take it,
Yes.
and you always give them because you know they're going to exactly. So it's just a basic human being thing, and so when you are always that person who's taking as well, and I feel like sometimes when you're always taking it, one day you will explode
Yes.
about the most ridiculous things. So I feel like yes, obviously you shouldn't go out of character, which is what for enough when I get a housemaid and I find that I'm already starting to, are you mad? Just start going. Just start going, because there's nothing peaceful about negative energy, and that's what we need to realize. There's nothing, even when you're giving it to your friend. So I would rather just, like Ayo does, really just block that person. If I'm always thinking, is she talking about me and her status? Is she talking? And I've had a friend who I've just had to just completely cut off, mute, and all of that on social media, even because.
I'm learning safe honesty really well. When we started this group,
Yes, but a lot of people.
Jumoke wrote something on the page. We were arguing. I was like,
Is she talking to me? You know that by
So I was like, the plan was like, okay, when I'm choosing dates, blah blah blah. But I don't know how to keep things.
Yes.
Even though I can keep to myself, I don't know how to put things in my mind. So we now went for one program like this. And she was like, hey,
Yes.
I said, no, you did something that I didn't like. I just said, honestly, that, I didn't, the way she explained to me,
You
she
could
didn't
have done a
read
full
that
care,
with
but
me
you
too.
didn't.
I am reading, but normally my normal self, I wouldn't have gone to meet her to say what you did was blah, blah, blah. So I think that honest,
I'm not a very
safe-
uncomfortable conversation kind of person as well. There are some things I just let go because I feel like there are things that people have done for me that today they will never know because do you understand? So for me, I look at it based on, is it something that's deep? Is it something I also like to think about? Okay, maybe that person was not in their zone and all of that. So for me I just look at it and because I feel like for us to be able to sit down and be trashing things out, it's just a very deep place that I don't know if I want to be with people.
Really?
Yes, I don't like to be
when you even
with
have
people.
honest
Conversations, yes.
with people.
Safe honesty.
Safe honesty.
Yeah.
It depends on the kind of person.
Exactly.
that
How
you're
close
having
are
that
we?
conversation with.
Is it worth
Sometimes
it?
it's an opportunity to, for that person to gaslight you further and
Say
then they
thank
continue
you.
to do that thing.
To now make it
How
look
many
like,
times do you sit
really?
down to
Yes,
have
thank you.
honest
Have such
whatever?
conversations.
Please.
I totally agree.
I understand the point where we're trying to give people a long rope, but I don't think I believe in anything more than the fact that people know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You will know when somebody has made a mistake. You will know when they have spoken out of turn or, they don't really mean that thing you heard.
Yes.
You will know. But sometimes, they mean it.
Yeah.
And,
So
they try to push
what
your
about when you
buttons.
now allow the thing to fester and it's not affecting
mind,
your
yes, your
mind?
self-esteem, your mind.
It's you. Maybe you have a way of processing it and just
Immediately,
yes,
not
I think
everybody
so. Yes,
can
true.
do
But I
that.
think that's what they need
So
to
true,
learn how
so
to
true.
do.
And how do you learn how to quickly process things?
Not necessarily. You don't need to quickly process
Yes.
it. You have people around you. For example, usually, like you mentioned your husband. I often this person
exactly.
did this thing today.
Thank you.
I
and that's
speak
a
it
load
as
off
it is in
already.
my mind.
Thank you. Exactly.
And he will sometimes put a lot
True.
of light and perspectives. I'll still decide to pick the
True.
one I like,
So
but now
true.
at least I'm hearing it from another person's mind.
Absolutely.
I can give you a rope. I'm not sure that rope is long, but
Yes.
I just want you to establish that energy
Yes.
you brought to me.
Yes, and
once I
number
get
two,
it-
What
yes,
about in marriage?
and wait, that's number one. Number one is just be able to tell someone about it.
Yes.
Someone who's maybe unbiased or someone who's on your side who will
Yes.
quickly tell you, this person's rubbish.
Yes.
I think that's number one. I think number two is that don't rate people so much.
Ah,
Don't rate people
100.
so highly. Some of you rate people so much that, of course, it's so quick to trigger you. It's okay. So for me, I think that's one of my coping strategies. I don't rate people that. I don't rate anybody. No, I don't rate human beings. I will only be human beings.
Right.
And I also feel like sometimes people are in their own head. So sometimes it's not even about you.
Right.
It's about them.
Right.
It's about their insecurities. It's about their low self-esteem.
Right.
It's about their feeling of rejection. It's about what one uncle did to them 20 years ago. And so they're just projecting on you.
carrying it
And
out.
so sometimes I don't rate you. I don't rate that person so that it doesn't get to the point where I even hold you to a high esteem where
You
I'm
hurt
now
so
holding
bad.
hurt.
Right.
So I think
what
that also
about
helps.
in a situation where a wife, she's having problems, the husband's people, they are
Yes.
giving her aura, or she too, she's giving the husband
Aura
people. How do you now, you are feeling like, okay, for me not to be seen to be a
Yes.
bad wife, and you are
Yes.
just keeping everything, and they will come to the house because your brother has not put a structure in place to making sure that
Yes.
to let people know that there are boundaries,
Relatable.
that lines that you can't cross. So the woman is just there in the middle of all of this, and she's trying to say, okay, let me not leave. And these auras, they are just coming and coming.
So boundaries. I think the boundaries is also
That one is not an aura for
In fact,
aura
that is she just
problem. I
doesn't
think
have
it's
boundaries.
a conversation.
Yes.
It's a completely different conversation.
Yeah.
I do believe so. First of all, in the Nigerian context, the traditional context, there are responsibilities, there are expectations
Yes.
of the traditional woman, you know, when it comes to in-laws.
Yes.
So in this case, you cannot, I cannot do aura for aura.
Exactly.
You cannot
but-
even do silent treatment for them. You have a, well, some people do it though.
Yeah, so-
you know.
No, it's just no. It's not necessarily tradition. What I would do is just what you for. I don't want to make it. I can't make
It's
example,
difficult.
but
It's difficult.
you just have to
but
create the
have to do
boundaries.
that.
People are in
Yes.
such situations.
Yes,
So
a
that's why I
lot
want us
of
to
women
talk
are in
about
that.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
so the
How
way
do they
yes,
navigate?
the way I would respond is create boundaries in a way that you two because I think oftentimes as women, especially even before we get married, we have become so of course want to impress,
Right.
and then the in-laws see that want to impress, so we're trapped
Take
in that.
advantage.
Okay, they've now seen you as someone that needs to be impressing you all the time. So take back your life. And let them start to see you as if they need to eat, put a structure in place. For example, if you need to eat the maid, talk to the maid about it. Let them, because even you are afraid of, they'll say that you are now Moluabi. Sorry, your reputation is still.
But in your culture,
Yes.
you are telling your mother-in-law if
Yes.
you want to eat, talk to the
No,
maid.
yes.
The mother-in-law might see it, depending on where she's
well,
coming from, as
an offense.
She can't
But
even
that's if
say
you're at
it.
home
That's
now.
my point. And
If you are
thank you.
sitting
Make
at home,
yourself
be there.
scarce. So there are ways. I think there are ways to say. We don't want to teach
there are ways
that.
around
We don't want to say without saying too much, but I think there are ways about it. Create a structure. Whereby if someone is, make sure that even before grandma tells you she's hungry, the maid is already,
has
there's a
already
roster
come
in
to
place.
ask
She doesn't
you,
even need to
"Grandma,
come
what do
to
you
me.
want to eat?"
Don't need to come to me for anything at all. If you need anything, go to your son. Or if you need anything around the house, there's someone who's already able to. And if you know that maybe your husband doesn't have boundaries enough to create, I mean, if you don't have maid and then you know to tend to grandma and you say, why? I don't know. She shouldn't even be
Come and
there for
spend
such a
that
long
much time.
time
She came
Right.
for treatment.
for treatments.
And the
Okay.
treatment is for in UCH, so she has to be
So she has to be there. I mean,
for-
very, like I said, very relatable, but create structure and create boundaries in a way that you also might, you will offend them. Because whether
There's no
you
way.
do, whether you don't, they will still
in that
find
situation, they are there to find
Thank
offense.
you.
Yes.
Find
There-
offense.
there is no
Abs, if you give them 2 pieces of
satisfying
chicken,
them.
they will find offense. Oh, you're
Right.
eating all your money, husband's money, their son's money. If you don't, so create a boundary and be very scarce. Be in your room. Put TV there so that you don't have to come out. Just come out and maybe just have 5-minute conversations with her. How are you, grandma? How are
Grandma,
you,
shemaje
auntie?
salad. Money
Shemaje.
kini kote
Okay, then blessing. Go and ensure that grandma has.
So what you
have
are
to
just
have.
saying
Yes.
is that from the beginning, don't give them what you
I'm
are
telling
not.
you, thank
Let
you.
them know this is who I am. Don't pretend.
I don't think people set out to give them what they are not.
Yeah, people do.
that
People
is-
do.
Some people
it's
do
emotions,
because they want to
it's-
impress.
People do.
But
They
that's
want
why, and especially when you marry really young.
Yes.
So that's why I mean, for most of us that are married at the time when Omoluabi at our age, don't stay single at our age. So they don't expect much from you.
Right.
So I was able to, put those boundaries in place because of it. But someone that's like 25, of course, you're going to mommy, you're going to be very, and stuff like that. And then they trap you in that, wanting to impress. And then it's not hard to give aura for aura because it's going to affect, because that's their son. Especially if you're a woman, that's their son or that's their daughter. You don't want to be giving his mom aura for aura in a way that,
Don't
it now
pretend
ruins
what
your
you are
relationship.
not, don't start it. Because it come
Absolutely.
to haunt you
Yes.
later.
What-
Because they expect that from you. You've been washing grandma's clothes up and down. Now you are not giving her that. She is thinking that what the Kilimoshe.
Yes, absolutely. So it's
Just
so
be real.
important. Yes, just be real. Anyway, that's the quote for today. Just be real, but obviously be wise as well.
Yes,
Anyway, we're going on to our agree or disagree segment, which will allow us get into the juice of this conversation just a little bit more. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back. Now it's time for agree. Ooh. Yeah. Or disagree. Or dagree. We'll read out a statement and you'll tell us where you stand and why. And today's statement says, waiting for karma or God is sometimes an excuse for inaction. Do you agree or disagree? Waiting for God or karma is an excuse for inaction. You agree with your full chest. Waiting for God or karma is an excuse. I feel for long. And that happens a lot. Especially in situations. I hate it when it happens in situations of abuse. Because I've seen families where maybe uncle abuses niece. And then you are saying I feel for long. Leave it to karma. Oh God, I beg. Anyway, I agree, Sha. But
I think I would agree.
Is
Not,
I agree.
Not in
Okay,
all
why do you
cases.
do? In what case? In what cases would
For
you?
example, the picture we just painted now, there are some things that you just say, at least these people, God will attend to them, their karma will come. But when it's issue of like violating a child,
Yes.
that one you don't have to wait. That's why I'm agreeing. So it's not in all situations.
So in what situation would you live for God? In what kind of situation would you say? Because I think I don't know. I think it's in action. Well, I mean, agreeing with my future. It's not even. I mean, it's extreme when you're talking about abuse of a minor. It's because I know families who have left it for God.
Yes.
And it's bad. It's sad because what you're telling that child is that you're not a responsible adult. That child is not worthy. And something like that can happen. You don't advocate for that child. That's wrong. I don't care what kind of family you are. I don't care how related to us you are. I don't care who you are. The moment abuse, it needs to, and there's law. I'm not saying, oh, go and kill the person. Because some people go to that extreme. I'm not saying kill. Exactly. Let the law make sure that person must sleep in jail.
And then when your husband is beating you, don't wait for karma because you can die.
Exactly. Absolutely. But situations like, what would you say? Okay, just leave it. Because I don't even think you should leave any situation for God. I don't think God wants you to leave any situation
there are some situations,
for
maybe
him.
you marry into the company or somebody is employed into this organization and everybody is looking down at her, this one, she can't amount to anything. You know that they are giving you that energy.
Yes.
You are just saying,
what are you leaving it to God for?
No, sometimes it's sometimes subtle. They might not be, the silent treatment. You're just like, So at the end of the day,
I mean, in that situation, what can you really do? They just don't believe in you. That's okay.
So I mean, like I said, I can relate. No, with that one, outperform. In fact, show them and be very visible in how you're outperforming them. So I'm not leaving it to God. I'm going to prove to you because also it's not even a matter. Except you know they're right. Then of course there's nothing to defend. I feel like there's no children you should leave to God.
And they might be right
God has straight of homos that it has bigger whatever. I have favor and blessing. I'm waiting to live for God. I'm not going to leave you to God. I actually believe that when someone misbehaves in front of you, you leaving them to go and misbehave is you missing out on the opportunity that God has given you to set them straight.
But don't forget that
we're raised up in a village where if you mess up, your neighbor is going to slap you or
while you are trying to correct whatever, giving them or you might just cross a boundary like what the picture she painted in the downfall. That's why we say even if you want to do that, just put your values in check. Let those things be your guiding.
And I agree. I'm not saying that someone will mess up in this office and they've never. I don't think. I say you are mad, Jack. That's out of character. It's not even me. And like I said, sometimes my staff will say I'm too soft. No. I'm very feminine in how I lead. I'm not going to come and try and be a man or try and be somebody else because I am leading people. And I'm glad I have great people. I've never, except maybe one or two cases where I've and I've put it in check because I'm not mincing words on what my place is in this place. I may not be aggressive. I don't want my staff to run away when I'm coming or start to lie to me and stuff like that. However, I believe that if someone messes up, that is a divine assignment there. And so don't waste it. Put that person in check. You don't have to start fighting or start throwing each other wigs in the office, but you cannot leave that person to continue to be
But sometimes when you put people in check and then the silent battlefields come, not everybody can cope.
Silent for yourself.
She was able to be playing obey and be doing that. Not everybody. Some people will collapse. Because they don't have that mind. Some people have strong mind. Like me now, if there are 10 people in this room and you guys are giving me, I can still operate here and leave. I'll come back. Some people can't stay. So it depends on the mindset of the person.
And I mean, maybe my own will be even though I agree with Ronke, right? Personally, I think if you want to leave something, if that's, because I mean, some people are just soft like that. They just don't like wahala like that. And it's okay. I don't think the right perspective should be you're leaving it for God.
Exactly. I feel
if
like
you want to leave it, just leave it. Just be like,
most soft people that I know that do the whole, it's biting you inside.
Just, if you want to leave it, leave it. Because there's no way your mind will be there.
If it's your boss.
How will you not leave it when you are counting on the coins to buy garri?
Okay, in that way. But even that, I don't know if is that, okay, that scenario, for example. But leaving it for God, now I agree. If it's someone that maybe I don't have I'm a junior, whatever, and my boss I feel is bullying me or something, but I think there's something you can do. Not that you are just leaving it to God or leaving it to karma. However, yes, I know that there's some situation where the power, the dynamic is very strong. And so, yes, I'm a Christian, I'll go and pray. I'll go and, you know what they do at midnight? I'll go and do it for you.
What do they do at midnight?
Check my portal to my, you know,
And I think if you want to leave it for God,
Yes.
there's still a level of action that is required. Even
prayer.
in leaving it for God,
Exactly.
you're still praying.
You're
You're
still praying,
asking God
yes.
for direction. If it's about, I mean, if the organization or whatever situation it is so toxic that you need God to do something,
Yes.
if you're praying and you're working in that direction, I think it's still action.
Yeah.
But there are some people who just
Exactly. Thank you.
I understand what
And then be
you
doing
said.
Ojoaye and see be doing Ojoaye.
There's
For me,
no
if my
sense
boss
in
is very,
that.
he will know that I'm not happy. I'm just working here, but I will not be okay. When I know that you are badly behaved, you are tapping my butt, you know, in workplaces. But because I know I can't leave this job, no. But you will know I'm not going to leave it for God in a way that you think your behavior is okay. You will know me. I don't even know how to pretend. I don't know. You will know your behavior is not okay. I don't know how to pretend, and so for me, I say yes in leaving it because I know the power dynamics is one that I cannot just easily influence or do something. But you will know when I'm answering to you, I'm doing my job at the best level, but my face is dead. It's giving you dead. Absolutely. So I think that in some way you must, because also you are telling yourself when you leave things, you are telling yourself that you're a coward. I feel. And
Yes,
because
and
it's
that's
yes, and that's painful when you feel like a coward. Someone's doing something for you and you are leaving it. Then you stop trusting yourself. You start allowing other people, even who are not on your level, to start stepping on you. So speaking up is a very fearless thing. It comes with audacity. But when you speak up, even in situations where you tell yourself that wow, I'm brave, and and it also tells people that I'm not one to mess with.
It's just important to stay true to
You
yourself.
have to stay true to
your
yourself.
values.
Not
Don't
come
go
to
out
the
of
office and
character.
now start.
Even to the boss, you can do that honest and safe.
Yeah,
honesty
that's
and
right.
right.
I'm like,
And
yes.
say, Oga, maybe you are not looking at it from
Exactly.
this prism. These are the things I didn't do. This I didn't do politely.
Thank
but
you.
it will help you.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think yes, except it's just a boss that's just, you can say, sir, but no, but just keep him quiet. No, I always say, that's why, like I said, I teach my kids, yes, you two go and speak up for yourself, because I will not always be there.
and fight the fight.
Go and fight, yes, go on, because you go to a playground, I'm not there, someone will just knock you, and you just keep quiet. This is, I think, that parents must teach from when they are young, because a lot of people now become adults, and they are leaving everything for God until they are shriveling, and you are becoming a shell of yourself. And the people that have done this thing for you, they are thriving, and they are blossoming, and you are seeing them, and they've forgotten you.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
So you must.
I watched one guy, is an actor, a big star, a dwarf. He was saying that when he was young, the father would poke him so that he would be fighting back, before he started school. Because the man in his mind, you are going to meet this as soon as you start school. So he learned how to fight the daddy back. So the first day he got to school, one child was being, because he's a dwarf, he gave the guy a beating of his life. So let's instill things into our children that they will use to function properly in society.
And sometimes where this thing starts, even when as parents, we don't allow our children to ask us why or what. We are teaching our children that they cannot speak up. Who are you as a parent that your child cannot say, but mommy, why? But mommy, you are wrong. And that's where you are starting from as a parent. And that's why they go out as well. Teacher will tell them. So when a daughter comes out and said, my teacher said this. I said, did you ask her, why are we doing that, ma? For example, she came and said to our teachers, she started coming back home with her protein. And I know she loves her protein. She doesn't finish her food, but she loves her protein. So our teacher, of course, the good intention was, don't eat your protein until you finish. And because she cannot finish this food, she can't come home with her protein. And I was like, she said, my teacher said we should not touch our meat or our chicken. I said, go back and tell your teacher that no, I think, sir, the food is too much for me, but I can manage to still eat my protein. Because then the protein, because by the time I picked her, is already going off, and it's cold and all of that. So I said, please, I encourage her to, please, as long as you're not rude, please ask your teacher why. Tell her, I don't think it's a good idea, ma. And it's okay, let's start to, and sometimes when I tell her, she's like, someone that when we're at home, she can even ask me 100 why. But school is also one of those places that conform us to becoming, just leave it. Let someone just tell you something that doesn't make sense, but just leave it. No, please encourage your children to speak up to their aunties, to their uncles, to ask why, and to challenge things. That when they're in one office, one guy will not be telling them rubbish.
And they'll just take it.
And they'll just take it and say, we're leaving it for God.
They can't say no when they are faced with gender-based violence.
Absolutely. Speak up. All right, let's look at our wise words. This has been such a really, really good conversation. Aya, do you want to read it for us?
You can't have a better tomorrow if you're thinking about yesterday all the time. That's from Oprah Winfrey.
Absolutely. Some of you are stuck in the past. Something someone did to you 15 years ago. But because you didn't address it, you are still there 15 years after. And that person is on TV. Hey, I hope it's not me. If I've
And they make it
offended
look
you,
like
might
it's
be.
peace. You leave it alone because you don't want to give aura for aura in
Thank
the
you.
moment. It looks like it is
It
peace
looks
in
like
the moment.
peace is
But you
not.
have not, they've even forgotten that they did that
Thank
thing to you.
you.
But you're holding on. That's how she did on the
Absolutely.
19th of
Yes.
1975. On the 19th of
Thank
1986.
you.
You're
Isn't
holding
that-
on to
yes.
your chest is big
This
because
is-
Please, I beg, talk about for your own good. These
Let
things
it
cause
go.
disease. They cause disease.
Forgive people in advance.
Yes. if it-
Humans will be humans. That's what I
Exactly.
do.
Or
I
give them the
always-
benefit of the doubt, or I'll give them the benefit. But I told you didn't mean to do that. So let me ask her,
Yes,
is that what you? So give them benefit of the doubt, because some people actually didn't mean
Right.
to harm you. Anyway, that brings us to the end of today's episode of The Big Conversation. And today we explored a simple phrase with very complex implication, of course, aura for aura. Because in a world where people believe in matching energy, it's easy to feel like every action deserves a reaction.
Yeah.
But perhaps the real question is not, what did they do to me? But who do I want to be in response? Because revenge may give you a moment, but peace gives you freedom. And sometimes the strongest thing you can do is not to match the energy, but to rise above it, to set boundaries, to protect your space, and to choose a response that reflects your values, not just your emotions. Well, we love you for watching the show. Did you know we have a WhatsApp community? Yes, we do, a vibrant one at that. Go to the link in bio on our Instagram page, which is at @the_big_conversation, and join us there. Until next time, choose wisely, protect your peace, and most importantly, keep watching The Big Conversation.
Voices rising, stories told, truth unfolding, brave and bold. In this space we speak our mind, different views all intertwined. It's the big conversation where the real ones talk. From the heart of the nation we all take that walk. Through the fire, through the facts we don't hold back. It's the big, big conversation. Voices rising, stories told,